You won't be able to see me. Let me see. Content of this meeting is being sent to a third party. Is that okay? Yes. Hey, Rivquad, since you're on, do you have any, is there a lot of juice on this? Yeah, on this device? Yeah, I got 74%. Cool. All right. All right. Cool. Crisis mode. Here we go. All right. Just got to make do. How fun, though. All right. Huh. All right, you can all see my screen, correct?
Yes, but there was just a little back feed.
There's a little back feedback. Okay, so let me see something right quick. Let me see something right quick. Okay, let me turn that off.
I think you fixed it when you turned the volume down.
Yeah, yeah, I did. And what I did is, I think something might be just wrong with this microphone on, hopefully, but I just muted this other one so we won't have any feedback. So that's cool. So going back again, let's share the screen. And let's get started on our.
Hey.
Yes? All right, cool. All right. All right. You can all see my screen, right?
All
right.
No, I can't see the screen. We can't. Achika, Elder Bill, and I can't see the screen. Oh yeah, there we got it. Okay, Toda.
Yeah. All right. So let me get all my bearings together, because I started sweating like a little pig trying to find out what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Right? You can't hear it, but anyway, here it is. Our Torah portion this week, you guys, is called Ki Tisa. Okay. And basically what Ki Tisa means is when you go ahead and you lift up the heads of the sons of Israel. That's what it's talking about in context, talking about when you're going to do a head count. There's a lot to be understood about this Torah portion. It has pretty much great significance, because what we're talking about, everyone, is the idea of Ysrael having a like literally I say a nervous breakdown, saying that they're really feeling like they're in a lot of anxiety. So what has happened is a crisis has happened with the children of Israel. And there's a lot of decisions that have to be made in this in particular portion. And we're going to see some things that are not going to necessarily be very comfortable for us as a people. Before we get started, though, I would like to honor the Most High in prayer to Him, and giving Him glory and honor for this very day, Yom Shabbat. Hallelujah, Yahweh. Thank you for this day that we're in, this day of the Shabbat, this day of rest. We ask that you would continue to open our eyes to see the wonderful things that are found in your Torah, Yahweh. We thank you for being our Elohim. We thank you for your mercy, your compassion. We thank you, Yahweh, that you're slow to anger. And we thank you, Yahweh, that you're a forgiving Elohim, that you forgive the crimes and the sins and the rebellion of your people. We thank you, Yahweh, for Moshe, and we thank you for these writings that you have made available to us while we're in our exile. We give you all the praise. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise be to the living Yahweh. Hallelujah. So yes, and so here Ki Tisa is talking about a lifting up. So when you're lifting up, and he's continuing to talk to Moshe while Moshe is on the Har Sinai, a place which you would call desolation. I don't know if you guys knew that, but Har Sinai means to be desolate. It's connected to the idea of a sword, and you become desolate when you're hit with the sword. So when someone invade a land, they would actually unalive everyone there, and then no one would live there, no one would cultivate the land, and therefore the place would be called a land of desolation. So this mountain that he has spoken from is a place of desolation, giving us an idea and a clue that if you and I are to go against what he is talking about, then you and I are going to be met with desolation. Okay. There are some things in here that you may have probably never heard before, and that might kind of rub you the wrong way and may make you feel a certain way about the Most High. My intention is to make sure that you and I understand what are we supposed to get from this while we're in our exile, and what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to reflect upon the things that we've been studying over the last week? I mean, we all have our different ideas about what was spoken to us, and it's a story that has been shared throughout time. It's been for over thousands of years. So the history of our people goes way back thousands of years. Okay, but this is a really significant event. It's called the Great Sin. Okay, it's a great crime, but within this Torah portion, Katisa, the Most High is letting us know something about Himself. It's something that we need to be aware of. Even though you and I are not part of a census at this time, there are some text that tells us that when we do get back to our land, there will be a head count. There will be a head count for the men. Okay, anyone who's 20 years and up, there will be a head count for them. As you notice in your Torah portion, says when you take a census, that when you take is the idea of kitisa. Okay, so that's what kitisa means, when you take. But taking versus lifting up is a little different, right? So they're using the word take. The Most High is not using the word take there, like to capture something. He's saying, when you're going to lift up the heads of the sons of Israel, when you're going to bring them to me, I need you to register them, each of them, for the registration, and need to pay a ransom, which means they're got to pay a certain amount of money, what they would call a kofer, to atonement. So this idea of ransom is really an atonement for the life, meaning their soul, to Yahweh, to avoid any breakout of a plague among them during the time of the census. So this atonement, or this ransom here, is not meant to save for any crimes or any sins, you made a mistake, any of these things. This atonement is very specific. It is talking about the ransom for your soul when the Most High counts you. Okay, so this has to do with counting. So if you're reading this and you're saying, hey, this is a ransom, this is where the atonement is mentioned, and so here we see an atonement is made with silver, then we're good. It's a half a shekel. So that's how you can atone for your life. It's not just for your life, it's so your soul won't get plagued at the time of the Most High counting you, more specifically the males who are 20 years and up. Okay, and when we get into the consensus of counting the men, is for the sake of the army and their military force, in which they were going to have to use these men. But the half a shekel was allocated to the not only construction, but the maintenance, not the construction, but the maintenance of the tabernacle, in which the Most High says that I want to use that money for that. So what you're talking about literally is a economic system, a fund, if one would say a fund that's going to be used for the maintenance and upkeep of the tabernacle. So you may ask yourself, well, what do you mean by that? You're talking about renewing some things, like the curtains, the labor that goes into maintaining the tabernacle. And the tabernacle's maintenance was going to be done by a certain group of people, which we call the Levi'im, the Levites, that you're going to find in the Torah portion. Okay. So when we come to the book of Tehillim in chapter number 49, which was part of your meditation this week, there was something that was said by King David, that no one can ever redeem his brother, okay, or give Elohim a ransom for him, because the price for him is too high to have him live on eternally and never see the pit, meaning to never come to the place of his body decaying. Okay, so the idea of a body living forever is out of the question, right? So this idea of this redemption here and this ransom here is saying that no man, no human being could ever give the Most High anything for the soul of a human being. You can never pay the Most High to cause someone not to die. Okay. So for us, dying is part of our cycle. That's what it is. Now, this is not saying that we're not an eternal people, because the Most High says we are an eternal people. We find that in the book of Isaiah. I don't have a scroll for it, or excuse me, a slide for it, but we are an eternal people, right? And us as being an eternal people is determined whether or not you and I would follow what the Most High says, because there is a time where you will no longer be eternal as a people, more specifically the children of Israel. Okay. So our souls are eternal and our bodies are not. So there will never, ever be anyone who could redeem you. So the idea of the New Testament, that somebody will come and redeem you and to die for you so that you can live forever, is actually erroneous and is false. And it's something that is not, correct. It's not correct to the Torah. It's not correct to the understanding of the people who had a relationship with the Most High, like Dawid and Moshe and all the others. Okay, so there is no atonement for anyone in that manner. In your Torah portion this week, you learned about the spirit of Elohim. Okay, last week I talked about your 7 sisters, right? Your the Akayot, which are your 7 sisters, which is Kokma, Bina, Da'at, Mazima, Melitza, Hida, and Takbula. So I had got some little pushback on that, because people were saying, well, we don't see where we're supposed to cry out to these sisters that you talked about, Akika. We don't see that in the law. And my response to that individual was that, yeah, it's not in the law because it's optional. It's optional for us to be able to call. It's up to you if you want to call out to get more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It's up to you. But here in his Torah portion this week, we found that the Most High mentions these sisters again, right? And he's talking about Betsael, right? So Yahweh said to Moshe, I have singled out Betsael, the son of Eri, the son of Kur, from the tribe of Judah. I have filled him with the spirit of Elohim, right? And then he's going to talk about the spirit of Elohim, which is wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Of course, is Chokmah, Bina, and Da'at, concerning every kind of malaka, meaning every type of workmanship. Okay. I put the word malaka there to let you know that malaka basically means any type of workmanship or any type of work. And he is a master of design in gold, silver, and bronze, cutting stones to be set in carving, wood carving, and every other kind of craft. So this spirit that the Most High is giving unto Betsael is one of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. So he's introducing the femininity of his spirit to Betsael for a specific work. So this is not like he has, this to be able to become an orator or a great speaker or a preacher or walk around and heal people. That's not what it is. This actual spirit that he's giving him is very specific. It's to the mastery of design in gold, silver, and bronze. And so in order for him to carry out the things in which the Most High wants Moshe to do, he's providing him with an individual that will be able to do this. Now, it's ironic that his name is Betsael, and Betsael means to be in the image of El, okay, or in the shadow of El. And he's the son of Uri, which means, Uri in Hebrew means the son of light, okay? So he's a son of light. He's an image of El. He is in the shadow of El. So anytime that one is to do anything for the Most High, they are going to have wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, which are our sisters. So you can see now that Betsael has a relationship through the Most High with these in particular sisters. Again, I keep calling them our sisters because that's who they are. Okay, Kokma, Bina, and Da'at. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit again about the Kokma. The Kokma is asking the questions. Okay, so asking questions. So it's the power of what? Because that's what Kokma means, to ask questions, because you don't know, so you want to know. So Betsael doesn't have any special power. He actually has to be given a spirit from the Most High to be able to pull off what the Most High wants him to pull off. Okay, the Bina is, I told you last week that you can't get Bina. You can't have a relationship with Kokma without Bina, right? Or you can't have a relationship with Bina without Kokma. Because if you're not asking the right questions, then you won't be able to get the right understanding. And that's what Bina is, okay? Once you are able to obtain the knowledge of, or excuse me, the understanding, and to be able to differentiate between things, then you'll be able to have what you would call knowledge, visual observation. I failed to mention to you that da'at is not only about seeing things, but da'at is literally about measuring things. Okay, so when you see something, you have to be able to measure it. So when you have this understanding, after you ask a question about something, then you will know how to build. You'll know how to build. And so once you know how to build it, then you're going to start measuring. That's what the da'at is. See, so that's why they all work together. So if you and I have any desire to build anything, you know, whether it's an organization, whether it's a family, whether it's a business, whatever it may be, you're going to need wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Where you're going to need Kokma, Bina, and Da'at. Okay, the other sisters, they work behind the scenes as well because they're very strategic, like we talked about. They, you know, hard things to understand. They're there for that. But here, this Malaka, if you notice, Malaka is a work. Okay, that's why I put it here. This is a work. It's called Malaka. Okay. And you can see that it's an M, and then here's another L, and then here's a K, right? Malak, okay? You can put two E's in here, and you got Malek, which is a king. You could put an M, an A, an L, and an A and a K. Again, the same three consonants, M, L, K. And I ain't talking about Martin Luther King, okay? This right here is a messenger, okay? Which they would call an angel, okay? So you see that a king and a messenger have a lot in common. You can actually see Malka, okay? Malka is a queen, okay? She's a queen. That's what a Malka is. A Malka is a queen, and it still has the M, the K, and the L, and the K, and the A, okay? So Malka, she's a queen. So this is talking about royalty, okay? So people of our caliber and of our family, we are a people of nobility. So we must possess the wisdom, the understanding, and the knowledge. We must have a relationship with our sisters in that way. So then you and I could be the masters of whatever we build, like he's doing there. Okay, so he's the master of gold, silver, and bronze. Okay, and all of the craft that he's doing. But another point that should be brought out about the sisters working there is that they're all feminine. And now you see the work that you're doing, Malaka. The ah right there tells you that this work is feminine. In the Hebrew scriptures, literally everything that's having movement, okay, or growth, or to do anything is a feminine. Okay, it's a feminine. That's what it is. Okay, everything. The Torah is feminine. The Shabbat is feminine. Wisdom is feminine. Understanding is feminine. Da'at is feminine, and also the 10 words, the adut, is feminine. They're all working. They're all doing something. Okay, so the adama, right? So you got malaka or malaka, and you have adama. That's the land. That's the earth. Adama. Okay, so anytime you see this like in Sarah or any of those words, you understand that it has to do with femininity. Your actual souls are feminine. Your soul is feminine. Okay, so every time the Most High is talking about something that's feminine, he's directing all of that towards your soul. I need you to hear me. All of it, whether you're a male or female, it's your soul. Okay, so when he's talking about you and I keeping the Shabbat and doing certain things, he's talking about us. Listen, I need to give your soul rest. Okay. Okay. Now, another part before I go on talks about how the spirit, I want to talk a little bit about the spirit, the Ruach. Okay. Literally, what the Ruach means in Hebrew is wind or your breath. Okay. It's the wind or the breath. Okay. Now, those are, we breathe the air, we breathe the wind. Okay. So did he give him the wind? Did he give him the breath? What did he give him? Right. So what he's talking about is, in the ancient Hebrew, a wind and the breath is talking about direction, that the wind will blow. And when the wind is blowing, is rolling or blowing in a certain direction. And it was talking about, so what it has, everyone, is what they would call a path. Okay, or what you say, a pathway. Okay. So there's a certain pathway, a certain direction that the Ruach has. So when the Most High said, I'm sending this to, I've singled out Bezalel, the son of Uri, he's saying, I've directed this in a pathway directly to him. This is not going to go to anyone else. This is going to go directly to this one, the one who's in the shadow of El. You and I share that because that's the same word when the Most High said, I should make them in my image. I should make them in the shadow of me. Why is this important? Well, it's important because when you and I are living our lives, while we're walking on the earth that the Most High has created, you and I have a responsibility to walk in the shadow of El. You and I have, and what does that mean? Someone tell me. Because he's the shadow of Uri, of light, of my light. He's the son of my light. So that's what Uri means, my light. He's the son of my light. So what are you and I supposed to do? Someone give me an example when we're talking about walking in the image or the shadow of El. What do you think that means to you? It's not a right or wrong answer.
Keeping the Shabbat.
Thank you. So when he says that I made the Shabbat for you, and it's a sign which we're going to talk about, he's saying, okay, whatever I've done, right, and whatever is pleasing to me should be pleasing to you. Whatever it is that I'm asking of creation, right? I'm asking of you. I'm asking you to do it. I'm asking you to be right there in my shadow. So wherever I am, that's where you need to be. Whatever I'm doing, that's what you need to do. If I work 6 days and then I rested, right? Or I gave rest, or I ceased, because that's what it means, not rested, ceased from what I've done, you need to do the same. So anything that you and I are doing, our malaka, has to be reflective of that ruach of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. And also, too, that you and I are walking in the image of the Most High, of El. That's what we do. Okay? I don't know if you already knew the slides, Michelle, but that's what we're going to be talking about, the Shabbat.
No, I just know by reading the portion, brother. That's all.
So the Shabbat is in the image. It's in this walking in the shadow of the Most High. Okay? Listen to this. So he says, again, now remember, Moshe is on Har Sinai, right? He's on the place of desolation where the Most High is talking to him. He's been up there, for 40 days. He says, tell the people of Israel, okay, you are to observe, meaning to guard, and to do the la'asot, meaning to do my Shabbats. Not one. Shabbats. This is a sign between me and you, right? Through all your generations, so that you will know that I am Yahweh, who sets you apart from me. Meaning I'm the one who's doing this. I'm the Mekadishkim. Okay, I'm the one who's sanctifying you and setting you aside for this very reason, because you are what? Supposed to be in my shadow. Okay, so this is an oath. Okay, this is a sign, right? So in your left-hand side of the, underneath that gel that you have, that calf right there, that young bull, which you see is this word oath. Okay, and of course, you know what the first letter is the Aleph, right? So the Aleph is telling us that it's being strong. Right, this is strong, and then, right, so that's strong. Strong is a what? What animal? Aleph?
Ox.
It's an ox. Strong as an ox, okay? So you're supposed to be strong as an ox, right? And then the final letter is what they call a ta, okay? And that ta means mark, M-A-R-K, okay? Or what they would say, a destination. Okay, so I have you going in a certain place. So what this really is a strong mark. Okay, that's what the sign is. It's a strong mark. It's an identifier. It's like me putting my mark on you, right? And when I put my mark on you, that means that I have designated you to go to a certain destination. This is what he's telling us. This is the way that you're going to know that. Okay, when you look at those letters, you know that the Aleph is the first letter of the Hebrew language, right? And the Tav is the last. So that means everything between. And so the letter that's in between both of those letters, which is the Wa, is a tent peg. That's what that is. That's a tent peg. Okay, that you would hold everything together with, right? So you have the Aleph, and then you have the tent peg, and then you have the final mark, the destination. So what this wad is doing right here is connecting the Aleph to the Tav. And it's what it is, it's an arrow in grammar. It's supposed to point you to a certain direction. So when the Most High is saying this is a sign, he's saying this is what I want you to look at. You know how when you drive up to a road and then they have a sign there that tells you to stop? That's what you do. You drive up and you stop at a stop sign. The Most High is telling us that I've given you the Shabbat as a sign. It's like it could be stopped. The sign could be stopped. The sign could be, turn left. You know, you see some signs that says turn left right here. Okay. So this is a guidance system, right? So you can get to your destination. Oh, praise be to Yahweh. Yes, Mashal.
So one of the signs that they were receiving of the Shabbat was when there was no manna falling on the Shabbat day. That was their sign.
Yeah, it's a sign. So here signs are not just for posting, right? So you can post a sign, but the sign is to get you to your destination. So the Shabbat, that's why he's saying is all throughout all your generations. It's perpetual. Okay. And the observance here is to guard it, but also to la asot, meaning to do it. Okay. And it's not one of them, it's all of them. So, you have 52 weeks or 52 Shabbats right there, but you also have Shabbats on what you call your high holy days, your Moedim, your set apart appointed times. And the purpose of this is said that you would know that I'm Yahweh. Well, what do you mean you want me to know who you are? We're going to find out who he is, right? I'm the one who's setting you apart from me. And that's what you and I sometimes have a difficulty understanding. We're thinking that the Shabbat, or a lot of people, not just us, a lot of people may think that the Shabbat is just a religious observance, and it's not. It's actually a guidance system to get you to your destination, to get you to Yah, to let you know who he is. Because ultimately, what the Most High's intent is for that you would know. You always hear me talk about it, then they will know. I want you to know that I am Yahweh. And the only way you can know that is through the Shabbat. If you go and you follow the sign, and if you keep it and you guard it and you follow it, right? That's what it is. And you need guidance, right? That's what we need. We need guidance for the Shabbat, okay? Now it talks about how the people of Israel are to keep, okay? Again, keep the Shabbat, to observe the Shabbat through all their generations as a perpetual covenant, meaning forever. It is a sign between me and the people of Israel forever. For in 6 days Yahweh made the heaven and earth, but on the seventh day he stopped working and rested. Now, is there a problem with this verse that you guys can see? Does anyone see any problems with this verse? It's the last word in the verse. Why is that a problem?
Because to say that the Most High rested implies that he gets tired.
Yes, thank you, Mashal. So you caught it. So the bottom line is that the seventh day he stopped working. This is not true. This is not. Go ahead.
It also says in the Psalms that, what Psalms is it, that the Most High, he never sleeps or slumbers, right?
Yes, he never sleeps, never slumbers. So what we're seeing is, if we don't understand, okay, so whoever wrote this, they wrote it in their understanding, they wrote it in their language, they wrote it in their culture, and they're saying that the Most High rested. So really, a one who rested, like in your Haftarah, what did Elijah ask the people when they were looking for their God, Baal? What was he saying to them? He said, where is he? Is he on vacation? Is he asleep? Is he on the potty? What's going on? Right? So he's saying all those different attributes to let you know that their Elohim is like a man. Is a man. So when you have that he stopped working and rested, you're assuming that the Most High gets tired. The Most High does not get tired. The Most High does not slumber. The Most High does not sleep. The Most High he doesn't get weary. The Most High is not a human being. You understand? So the proper interpretation of this is not that the Most High got tired. What it's talking about is that the very day that the Most High stopped working, okay, it was on the seventh day that he rested, okay, meaning that he rested what? He rested the day. When he's talking about rested, he's talking about the day, right? The day is called in Hebrew yom, and it's a masculine noun, okay? The working is what? Feminine. Okay. So when he talked about he stopped, talking about Yahweh stopped on the seventh day. He stopped. So on the seventh day, the Most High said, I worked for 6 days, but on the seventh, he stopped. Right? And the stop, when he stopped here, is the Shabbat. That's the Shabbat. He rested. Okay, meaning that he rested the day. Because the whole time, the 6 days that he was working it, he was working the earth, he was working the heavens, he was working all of it. And he said, on this in particular, on this day, on the seventh day, I'm going to give it a rest from the work that I've been doing on it. Does anyone have any questions about that or the understanding of that? Because you need to know that the Most High did not rest. He ceased from the work that he was doing, right? Because he's been working the land. He's been asking of it. Yes, Michelle.
Yes, that it makes sense, because if you are driving your car and you keep your car on constantly at high RPMs, you're going to blow a gasket or blow a piston. You need to give it a rest. You need to bring down the RPMs.
Yeah. So what we're talking about, everyone, when the Most High says that he gave, and it said he rested, that's not true. He did not rest. The Most High did not do this. What he's talking about is he let the land, let the earth, he let the earth in that in particular day rest. I let the day that was made, I gave it a rest from me working it. This is the reason why he tells us to give your servants a rest. Yes, Yahweh is gracious.
Oh yeah, and we also see that example. See that thought in when to give the earth rest from working, like is it 7 years or and Jubilee and all, those things.
Yes. So what we're seeing, everyone, is that the Shabbat, okay, represents, and I want to write Shabbat, is talking about freedom. And what is it freedom from?
Malacha.
It's from Malaka. It's from work. And who's doing the work? Who's doing the work?
The earth.
The earth is working. The animals are working. So the land, the animals, and who else? And the people. Okay, check this out. What are the people and the animals using to do this work? What part of them?
Their hands.
All of it. Yes, their hands. They're using their body. And in order to use your body, you have to breathe what?
Air.
And air in Hebrew is what?
Ruach.
Ruach. So because you're using a ruach, you're on a certain path, you're doing something. You're already on a path. This is your what you're doing. So the Most High said, I need to give the animals because they need their rest. And the people, they need to give their rest. And the Adamah, she needs to get her rest. Okay? So what do the animals and the people have in common? Besides feet, arms, head, eyes, ears, what? What are they else? And the air. What else do they have in common?
The nefesh and the shama.
There you go. The nefesh. That is what you call the soul, which is feminine. She needs a break from all of her work. You understand? So Now, when we're talking about the Shabbat, it's not just to free the body, but it's freeing the mind. Because you have to use your mind. You're using your intellect when you're doing. The animal is exhausted. They have to stay on the path that you're using them. You're walking them down the path. And what animal are you using? What's the main animal that's used when you're doing field work or you're doing some type of cultivation?
The ox.
You're going to use the ox. Thank you. So here's the ox that you're using. And you know that this is the Aleph in Hebrew, pointing directly to its horns, all the way to its mark that it has to go to, and that is the Tav. So that's the direction. That's why they use it as an arrow, because the ox is traveling to its destination. It's the Aleph Tav. You understand? So the reason why the Most High is telling us that this is an oath to you, what I need you to understand is I'm telling you to stop the ox. Stop. Cease the ox from going here on this day. That's part of the cycles in order for you to refresh, to reflect, and to refrain. Okay? So it's the freedom. It represents freedom. But you know, I didn't realize this until this week that the Shabbat also too is symbolic of freedom from the gods of other nations. What do I mean by that? What do I mean freedom from the other gods of the nations? Why are we getting free or set free from the other gods of the nations? Go back to Mitzrayim and tell me why. Why?
We're not serving them on that day.
We're in the lands of our enemies. We're serving their gods. This land that you live in right now does not, or the lands that we're living in, do not serve Yahweh. And how do you know that? Somebody, how do you know that this lands that you're living in does not serve Yahweh?
Because we're in captivity.
You're in captivity. Be more specific, talking about the topic in which we're talking about right now.
Because they observe the first day instead of seventh day.
Thank you. They do not. Oh, I lost it. They do not keep the Shabbat. Do you guys see that? They don't keep the Shabbat. So you should know, because they're not keeping the Shabbat, that they don't serve your God. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So when he's talking about us keeping the Shabbat, what he's talking about is, I need to set you apart from all these other gods. I need to set you apart not only from the work. We're thinking, okay, listen, we're thinking that it's just about the work. Oh, he doesn't want us to work on that day. That's what we're thinking. That's religious. That's a religious understanding. Okay? He's talking about, I need to set you free from the gods of your land, because the gods of the land that you're in right now, they will work you 7 days, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They do not care. And I need to make a difference between you and my people. God wants us to know that you're not those people. This is the sign between me and my people. Between, he uses the word between. I got it up here right quick. I'm on fire right now because I'm thinking about what he's actually saying to us. The word bain, or between, he said, this is a sign between me and the people of Israel forever. And he tells you why. Because I did it, I worked and I did it for 6 days. I made the heaven and the earth. So you're supposed to observe it. You're supposed to know that I'm your creator. When you're working in the other lands of their other gods, you cannot make any distinction between me and them. This is a way for you to know me. That's why I'm asking you to keep the Shabbat and the Shabbats, because it's something I did between me and you. Between. You say, well, what does this word bain mean? Well, we know just by hearing it, bain. B-E-Y-N. Okay? The letters that are of great importance to us is the bet, which is the first letter right here, and the nun, which is the last letter right here. The bet is the house, And this means the seed, the house of the seed, meaning to continue, because that's what the seed is for. So the house of continuance. All I need to do, everyone, is if I'm talking about bane or between, is talking about an interval between things. It means a space. So the Most High is saying, there's a space between me and you. It's a space. The between means space. It means an interval between me and you. So if it's a space between Yah and us, there's a space between us. That space is filled with Shabbat. The Shabbat is Kadosh. It is set apart. This is the way that you connect to me, is through the Shabbat. I put space between you and me. That space is filled with the Shabbat that connects you and I back to Yah, so you and I can know who he is. The Yah has decided, when he talks about putting space between Yah and us, okay, he's talking about also too, that the Shabbat itself, since you know the Shabbat is a space, it's an interval. I wish this pen would work. It is an interval. It is an interval. It's a space between one day and another day. It's a space between months. It's a space between years. So the Most High has intervals. And so what he's saying to us is, these are my intervals. These are my spaces. Not only do I want to put a space between you and I to connect us, I'm also going to use the Shabbat as a space between you and the nations. Meaning that they can't come next to you. I've separated you out from among them on this day. So the Shabbat is a space. It's an interval. It's a place of the space between. So you and I, if we're talking about bane, that's what the Hebrew name for space is. When we're talking about bane, what we're talking about is the root word of banah. It's still a bet and a noon, just like banah is to build. It means understanding. I'm going to give you understanding when you keep the Shabbat. I'm going to help you discern the difference between you and the rest of the peoples. I'm going to show you that if you worship me, it's going to be on a specific day, not any other day. That's the reason why the Most High tells us that you can't treat the Shabbat like any ordinary day, because if you do, that's the day that you're going to be unalive. So it's not just about the restoration of the body and the soul. It's literally the Most High telling us that I'm putting an interval between you and everybody else. The Shabbat is our connection to the Most High. It's not only just sanctification, but it is our connection. It's supposed to set us free. Now, when we talk about the Shabbat, what you and I are understanding in our exile, and someone had a question. Go ahead before I start my next segment on this. I forgot who it was. Who had a question?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to point out that in that topic, this is why the Most High created the Rakia, right? To divide the Mayim, right? The waters above and the waters below,
Yes.
so that we can have that space filled with the Ruah. We can enjoy that here.
Yes. Thank you. Good point. So all in Genesis chapter 1, all you see is a division between the heavens and the waters, the heavens and the heavens, between the earth and the sea, between this and between that, between light and between darkness. The word bane is prevalent in Genesis chapter number 1. You read it in the Hebrew, it's all there. Between this and between that. So the Most High is making distinctions between things. And what he's doing is he's saying the Shabbat is what sets you apart from all the other nations. I didn't give the Shabbat to all the other nations. I didn't give this as a sign between me and the rest of the world. I gave it between me and the people of Ysrael forever. That is what connects you and I to the Most High. That is what's going to give you your understanding of the Most High. Because what are you and I supposed to do on the Shabbat? We're supposed to worship the Most High. This is the way that when we talk about refreshing ourselves, right? I'm thinking, okay, well, you know, my soul gets a break, my body gets a break. But there's another element to the Shabbat that we're forgetting. The Most High is asking you and I to reconnect with him. You've been so busy for the last 6 days that you haven't made a real connection. The Most High is talking about you and I to reconnect to him through the Shabbat. So individuals who are not keeping the Shabbat are saying, I don't want to be connected to the Most High. I don't want to be with my Elohim. I don't want to be with my Creator. I don't want my soul to be refreshed. I don't want to get understanding. I don't want to talk to Kokma. I don't want to have anything to do with Binah. I don't want to have anything to do with Da'at. I don't want to have nothing to do with that. I don't want to look at the heavens and the earth and know that my Creator is the one who gave it. You have to make your connection. You have to reconnect. All this is about is having a connection to the Most High. And the only way that can happen is by making a distinction and a separation between us and the nations and between people. Here is what Yahweh says. I want you to observe justice and do what is right. For my salvation is close to coming. My righteousness is being revealed. That justice right there is mishpat. Wish my rulings. Do my rulings. Do what is right, for my salvation is close to coming. My zedek, my righteousness, my uprightness is being revealed. Happy is the person who does this. Anyone who grasps it firmly, who keeps Shabbat and does not profane it, and who keeps himself from doing any evil. Right? So this idea of any evil, right, has to be dealt with. And the Hebrew is not talking about just doing any evil. What it's talking about is keeping your hand. It says keeps himself. It's not talking about himself. It's talking about his hand. Yado, right there. Yad. Y-A-D. Come on, pen, work for me. Yad. Yad means hand, and O means his hand. Yado, that means his hand. Okay? So anyone who's guarding his hand, was Shomrei, guarding his hand from measot, meaning to doing any type of evil. The moment that you use your hand to do anything and you do any work with your hand on this day, you have profaned Yahweh's day of the Shabbat. You have profaned the Yom, the day. It's the day that's been set apart. It's the day that's why they call it Shabbat, because it's a day of ceasing. So if you move your hand in any way to perform any work by using your mind that causes you to move your hand, then you have ma'asot. You have profaned Yahweh's day. And there is a penalty for profaning Yahweh's day, Yom Shabbat. Because that's the connection. If you don't pause and cease from your work, then you have not created any space between you and everyone else to give you an opportunity to reconnect with your Elohim. Does that make sense? Anyone, any questions? That's what he's talking to us about. This idea of taking it firmly. Yes, Elder Bill. Azanya.
It's Azanya. I just wanted to comment that, you've been in the many debates with Ysrael that says we don't have to keep the Sabbath, and here in captivity. So I'm so happy that this is recorded, and you talked about the Sabbath in captivity and how it sets us apart. And I just wanted to say that everyone that I know that is reached to keep the Sabbath day while here in captivity after they've been awakened, the Most High has made a way for them to do it.
Yes.
And so yes, he has.
Praise be to Yahweh.
Yeah, praise be to Yahweh.
Hallelujah. So thank you for that, Sister Akoti. The idea behind grasping it firmly, when the Most High, yes, Sister Isaiah. The idea of when he says who grasp it firmly, is he talking metaphorically? How could one grasp it firmly with his hands? Is it something that's tangible that you can grab? What is he talking about? The Most High, everyone, is making it clear about this idea of grasping through the word that you and I understand in English as comprehend. I hope I got that. Comprehension. I think, no, I spelled it wrong. Forgive me. So comprehension. And that word there talks about one that will be able to seize something. Okay. I spelled that wrong too. To comprehension is to grab hold of it. So the question is do you and I actually comprehend? Do we have comprehension? Have we taken hold of it? Do we understand it? You cannot understand anything without the Most High giving you Kokman, without you asking questions. You and I have to ask questions. That's the reason why you and I are in exile. So the individual who does this, okay, is the one who takes hold of the Shabbat and doesn't profane it, the one who comprehends it. Okay. I want to deal with default setting. There is something that we found in our Torah portion that kind of reminds us of why we fall and why, we lose heart and why we get disappointed and why we feel ashamed of things. Is because when things don't go our way, we automatically go into what you would call a default setting. Yes, Mashal.
Yes, before we go into default setting, I wanted to ask, was the Shabbat observed in times of active war?
Yes. You see that in the Maccabees. You see at times where they were attacked on the Shabbat. That's the reason why they were. So that's the answer. They were attacked while they were on Shabbat, and they took advantage of them. They had no other recourse but to fight. But when they were in times of war, they kept the Shabbat. That's when those people would attack them, when they know, okay, they're on Shabbat. They're not moving. They're not doing nothing. The Shabbat, people actually, in our ancestors, from the historical records we have, they were willing to die before they broke the Shabbat. Some of them. Not all of them. Some of them. Okay? But the Shabbat wasn't given to any other people. He said it's a sign between me and you. You, Israel, not anyone else. So that's why you don't hear about it in the stories of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You don't hear it because that wasn't the sign that he gave to them. It's between Yah and Ysrael forever. He didn't say this is between me, your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said this is between me and you, Israel. This is between me and you. Okay? So we have our sign, and it's the Shabbat. The default setting that I want to talk about is what happened to the children of Israel. Okay? So when the people saw that Moses was taking a long time to come down from the mountain, they gathered around Aharon, okay, and said unto him, which means not only did they gather around him, they came upon him to hurt him. Okay? Get busy. This is their command. Get busy, make us gods to go ahead of us, because this Moshe, the man that brought us up from the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him. The word that it says that they saw that he was taking a long time is not necessarily true. Okay. What it's talking about here is that the children of Israel became what you would call disappointed. It wasn't that he was delayed. They were disappointed. And they were disappointed to the point where they were ashamed because they've been sitting there for 40 days or 39 days, more specifically, to be more accurate. They were there for 39 days. On the 39th day, this is when they said this. It's not to the 40th day that Moshe came down, the Most High told him what was going on. On the 39th day, they just said, you know what? We've been made a fool of. We've been put to shame. And it's because of the time element, right? So time has something to do with it, but it wasn't just because he was taking a long time. It's because what they were ashamed that, hey, we're starting to feel anxiety. We don't know what is going to become of us because this man that brought us out, they're still thinking that he brought them out. He said, make us some gods. Okay. In your Haftarah, making a connection between your Torah portion, you saw that Akav sent a word to all the people of Israel to assemble the prophets together on Mount Carmel. And Eliyahu stepped forward before all the people and said, how long are you going to jump back and forth between two positions? Meaning two different sentiments, two different ideas, two different belief systems. If Yahweh is El, follow him. But if Baal, follow him. The people answered him not a word. Okay. So this is given to us to understand something about the Most High. Okay. So when Moshe went up, he went on what mountain?
The naked eye.
Sinai?
He went on Mount Sinai. Sinai means desolation. Come on, Pen. Here on the opposite side, you have Mount Carmel. Carmel means to be a mountain of fruitfulness. Oh. Lushness, fruitful. So one is desolation, one is fruitfulness. Okay. Does anyone know what Eliyahu's name means?
Like wind.
Elohim, yeah.
My Elohim is Yahweh. That's what Eli means. Okay. So Eli, you always got to look at names when you're studying. Eli is this. Eli. That's Eli. That's my El right there. And that's right here means mine. That's a hand. So the hand, my hand meaning possess. I possessed him. He's my Elohim, right? So my Elohim is Yahweh. Okay. So Eliyahu. Okay. Yahu. Okay. Eliyahu. So Eliyahu is Yahweh is my Elohim. So he steps forward. The question would be is who is Elohim, right? Who is truly? Because this is what he's asking. So he asked the question, how long are you going to jump back and forth? That back and forth right there in Hebrew is called Pesach. That means to skip. So what he's saying is that these people are skipping back and forth between two positions, two belief systems. One moment they think that Yahweh is El, and the other they think he's called Baal. That's the question. What was interesting about my study is this. Since the children of Israel were ashamed and disappointed because of a time element, they wanted to create gods. Okay. And what they did is they went to Aharon and he took, as you read, he took all the gold earrings out of their wives and their children, and then he molded a golden calf. When the golden calf came out, they said, these are our gods, not singular. These are our gods. What they made was a young bull. That's what a egel is called. It's a young bull. Okay. That's what it is. So if it's a young bull, then it has a father, right? So the young bull is what?
A son?
The son of the father. Okay. The young bull is the one who's frisky. The young bull is the one who's jumping around. The young bull is the one who's not tamed. Okay. So when Eliyahu is bringing this to these people, he's asking them, how long are you going to jump back and forth between two positions? In context, without being religious, you got to understand why they were worshiping Baal. We have been taught through, the teachings that we've received over the last several years that the word Baal means Lord. Okay. Meaning master. Right. So that's from a definition or the etymology of a word, right? We know Baal means that. It means owner. It means master. It also means husband. Okay. Those are the names of Baal. Okay. So they have forsaken Yahweh. And this is the reason why Eliyahu is coming to him, because he said, Yahweh is my Elohim. And he's going to prove that Yahweh is El. That's what he's going to prove. He's trying to prove that Baal is not the master. He's not the owner. He's not your husband. Yah is. Okay. He's not the one in charge. He's not your possessor, because that's what an owner is. He's not that, right? So when I did my research, everyone, I found out that Baal is a god of the storms, the god of the rains, the god of fertility, the god of the wind, the god of the clouds, the god who provides for the sustenance for food, the god of agriculture. Okay, the idea of him being this god, they were serving him, and they had turned to Baal. Somebody tell me why, if you know this story. Why did they turn to Baal? And by the way, go ahead, tell me.
It was a drought of no rain.
Yes.
You know.
So it was a drought, and there was no rain. For how many years, Daweed?
I forgot now. I couldn't.
3 years. They went 3 years without no rain. Why didn't they receive any rain? Somebody give me the answer.
They were in idol worship.
They're in idol worship, but more specific, according to what the Torah, the Most High said, if you don't do what I say, if you don't follow the Torah, you don't get any what?
Any sustenance.
You don't get any sustenance, meaning you don't get any rain. The same word that's used for rain, the same root is for Torah. Because the rain comes down in a certain direction. It's pointer. Its rain comes down and hits exactly where the Most High wants it to go. When the Torah starts, you start doing the Torah, Yah is raining on you and giving you information, instructions. And instead of it being water, it's getting understanding, it's getting words to know what to do. So the reason why they didn't have any rain is because they forsook the Torah. And when they forsook the Torah, they forsook Yahweh. They forsook the instruction of the Most High. That's the reason why. And when there's a drought and there's no rain, there's no food. And when there's no food, that causes what? My mental professionals, tell me what causes when you get into a position of stress and you don't know what the heck is about to happen. You're afraid.
Anxiety.
You're getting that anxiety. That's what you're going to get. And that's what the children of Israel felt when Moshe wasn't around. They were still getting the manna, but they didn't have a leader. They didn't have nobody to guide them because they wanted their Elohim to be a man. They wanted their Elohim to be an image. It's because when you have an image, you can put a story on the side of it, and then you create a story, a narrative. And then you could pass that on, and you got something to look at to say that this is what it is. And you see that in the children of Israel, the northern tribe more specifically, they started worshiping the golden calf again. In the book of Judges, the book of Kings, 1 Kings, chapter number 12. So at this time, the children of Israel are worshiping an image of Baal, a bull. That's the reason why he asked them to bring him 2 bulls. And by the way, I didn't know this, but they learned to worship bulls in Egypt. That's the name of that bull. And they used to mummify the bulls, everyone. They used to worship these bulls, and they used to put them in crematories. It's not crematories. What do they call it? Catacombs. They would embalm them, and they would put them in caskets, and they would glorify the casket. And sometimes they would bury it, and sometimes they would have it in their temple. Then they would take off and cut off the penis of the bull and turn it into an image that they wear around their neck. That's where you get the symbol of the Ankh. Yes, Michelle.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You said something that my immediate ancestors back in the day, when they would use the penises of the bull as a bull whip, meaning that like a whip. They would dry it out, and this is what you're going to get beat with.
Wow. Yeah. So the idea, they've been worshiping the bull when they were in Egypt. So this is the reason why they said, these are your gods, because it meant more to them. It was not only the son of a bull, but it's the son of God, the son. And that was supposed to bring this frisky, skippy, jumping back and forth is an untamed bull. And that's what Israel was doing, because they were dancing. And when they did this, they started taking all their clothes off and they were dancing. They were just unrestrained, like a calf. You understand? So this is the great sin. So this sin didn't start, and if you notice, it didn't start when it happened in the wilderness, everyone. It was going on back in Egypt when he told them to get rid of your gods. They wouldn't get rid of their gods. So the same gods that they decided to act like they got rid of, they never got rid of it. So when this happened, they joined themselves to this bull. Now you can see in the Haftarah, they're still dealing with the same God, but in a different name. This God, Baal, has the name of all different Yah, forgive me, but I'm saying their names not because I'm invoking them. I'm trying to get you to understand that it's named after Horus. It's named after all the other Egyptian gods. It's Zeus in Greek. It's all over the place. They've just been changing their names when you get to different cultures. So Baal is not just Lord. Baal is a bull and a son of a bull that's been going on since the beginning of time. This is what they've always been worshiping. Now, the bad part about this is that they're vacillating between these opinions. And this is the reason why the Most High wanted to unalive all of the children of Israel. It's because they said that this is him. This is what they said. This is our God. Yes. Are they Balaam? Yes. Yes, they are. So there's many of them. Okay. And the Most High is one, and he's not many. So when they said that these are the one, they're saying that this guy, this God here, these gods are the ones who brought us out of the land of Israel. These are the ones who have set us free so we can dance and take our clothes off. These are the ones, because we don't know what happened to this guy, Moshe. So what they did was they left the path. They left the path that Yah has prescribed as an ox, because the children of Israel is like an ox to the Most High. We're supposed to be tame. He said, Yahweh said to Moshe, go down, hurry, your people, not my people, your people whom you brought up from the land of Egypt have become corrupt. So quickly have they turned aside from the path I ordered them to follow. They have cast a metal statue of a calf and worshipped it, sacrificed to it, and said, Ysrael, here is your gods who brought you out or brought you up from the land of Israel. What did they do? They broke the covenant with Yahweh. That's what they did. That's why Moshe came down from the mountain and he broke the 2 tablets of stone. They broke the covenant. That's what they did. They joined themselves to this God. They joined themselves to these gods. Do you understand it? It wasn't like they just, hey, you know what? You know, we're worshiping Yahweh. No. Al-Haron said, well, let's make a feast. Let's make a cog to the Most High, to Yahweh. Let's make a festival to the Most High tomorrow. And they got up early in the morning. They did an altar. But what they did was they replicated a covenant, because when the Most High had brought down Moshe from the mountain, he gave him the words of the Mishpatim and the Torah, and they sacrificed a bull to the Most High. And he spread his blood, and they were joined to the covenant. So this is how they joined themselves to these gods. That's what they did. There's a penalty for joining yourself to another god or any other gods, okay, that you and I need to be aware of. Yahweh continues speaking to Moshe. I have been watching these people. Not only did he hear them, everyone, he was watching them. He said, I've been watching, meaning that in the past tense, I've been watching these people. And you can see how stiff-necked they are. They're kosheo ref, meaning they're inflexible, right? So what does this have to do with the path? It means that their necks were so hard. Once they're bent on going in the direction that they're going, you can't turn their neck. So if they're bent on doing something wrong, they're going to go do it. He's saying, they don't have a neck where I would call them and they turn their head and listen to me and say, oh, what was that? Did you hear that? Turn their head. These people didn't have the capacity to listen and to turn and to be responsive to the Most High, so they wouldn't turn their heads. So if you have a stiff neck, like right now, if you woke up and you slept wrong on your neck, If you slept wrong and your neck was stiff, you couldn't turn to the left or you couldn't turn to the right. So anywhere that you walk, you have to turn your whole body when you turn around and see who's talking to you. That's a stiff neck. So what he's saying is that these people right here are incapable of looking this way or looking this way. So if they're going straight, that's what they're going to do. So if they're going to disaster and if they're going to go to calamity, then that's exactly where they're going. Because they can't turn to the left and they can't turn to the right. They can't. They're not, you can't move them. This is what they're going to do. So he said, now leave me alone. Literally, I need you to relax away from me, because Moshe was always in Yah's ear about the children of Israel. Not just then. He was talking to them when he brought them out. He was talking about them when they were in Egypt. He was talking about them when they, would honor the Shabbat the right way. He was talking about them when they were arguing and complaining. He was always in Yah's ear about the children of Israel. So the Most High said, leave me alone, meaning relax away from me. I don't want you to say no more to me about them, so that my anger, okay, my apika can blaze up against them, and I will put an end to them. I'm going to annihilate them right now. I'm killing everybody. Move out the way. Don't say nothing to me. I will make a great nation out of you instead. Okay? So what it was is that the Most High is so angry that he is going to destroy the children of Israel. This is a crisis mode. This is a matter of life and death. Okay? And so, and this is because of this calf, because of this agale, because of this discontentment, because of this anxiety, because you're not willing to wait for Yah, because you're not willing to wait for the one that he sent, because you're so agitated that you got to keep moving. You're going to do what you want to do because you think that's the right thing to do, right? So now we see this idea of advocacy. Moshe then gets into this advocacy. He wants the Most High not to destroy. I didn't put everything he said, but the part that stuck out to me was this idea of him telling the Most High to remember Abraham, Yitzchak, and Israel, your servants, to whom you swore by yourself. You promised them. You will make your I will make your descendants as many as the stars in the sky, and I will give all this land I have spoken about to your descendants, and they will possess it forever. When I read this, it talks about this, the nishpati, right? Like you swore to them. But it was another part that said, hey, if these other people hear about what you did, you brought him out here to kill him, they're going to say this and they're going to say that. So it's about his reputation. What I find to be quite amazing, everyone, is that Moshe is showing us something about his relationship with the Most High that you and I can learn from. Okay, it's not just about him remembering this covenant. It's about the why Moshe said what he said. He said it because he has such a close relationship with the Most High. He was able to challenge the Most High, not in a negative way, not to challenge his power, but to challenge the Most High about the decrees and about the promises that he made. When you and I have a right relationship with the Most High, you and I have a right to challenge the Most High according to what he said. What do I mean by that? What do you mean, Akika? Moshe was in such a great position with the Most High. He had enough confidence to stand before him and to make a plea. It says that he made a plea, but Hebrew has said he got sick. He physically got ill when the Most High said, I'm going to kill everyone. He got ill. He got sick. And the first thing he did was he did not revert to, well, okay, well, you're going to make it of me. Go ahead and kill everybody. He didn't do that. He thought about Israel. And what he did was he challenged the Most High. He challenged the Most High about the promises the Most High made. He challenged the Most High about the covenants that the Most High swore. He challenged the Most High about the work and the power that he displayed among the nations. He challenged the Most High. He put everything the Most High did before the Most High's face. He reminded the Most High about all of his power and his glory. That's what I'm talking about when we talk about challenging the Most High. When you get into a situation, you can say, instead of you going and doing your own thing and losing heart and having anxiety and going about it the way that you want to, you and I can sit back and we can challenge the Most High on his word. You can say, Yah, you said. You can say that to him. You promised Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. But here, he didn't say Yaakov, did he? He said Ysrael. Why didn't he mention Yaakov? He didn't mention Yaakov, but he mentioned Ysrael because he's talking about Yah's son. He's talking about the one that has the promise. He's talking about the legacy of the family. He challenged the Most High in regards to the legacy, the inheritance that the Most High promised to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Ysrael about their descendants. And as the descendants of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and Ysrael, you and I have a right to go to the Most High and challenge him on his promises and say that you promised our fathers X, Y, and Z. You promised this, but when you do go before the Most High, you better make sure you don't have another God in your mouth. And you better make sure that you haven't have any loyalty to no one else. You better make sure that you've been listening to him and that you've been obeying him. That's what gives us a right to do this, because he did. He said, now, if you would just forgive their sin. So he's trying to advocate. He says, but if you won't, I beg you, blot me out of the book which you have written. So you know that Yah not only writes on the 2 tablets of stone. Did he write on the front? Yes. But also he wrote on the back of the tablets. He didn't write on just the front of the tablets. He didn't write just on the front like you see in some of these places, the 10 commandments on the front, on the words, this and this and that. He wrote on both sides of each of those lakot, on each of those stones. Okay, so Yah writes, or Yah has written. He wrote there with his finger on the lakot. Here he says that the book that you have written, out of the book which you have written. So there's a scroll. And in that scroll, your name and my name is in that book. It's in that scroll. It's in that writing that the Most High has. Just like he takes a consensus about who the children of Israel, how many males there are, what family you're from, and whose son you are, and so forth and so on, and whose daughter this is, and all this. He right. So the daughters of Zelophehad, their names are written down in inheritance rights. Yah writes. So all of a sudden you get a group of people that say, I don't believe the writings. I don't believe the writings. But they'll accept the writings of the Greek Testament and thinking that the Most High doesn't have writings. The Most High have scrolls. The scrolls that Moshe had, everyone, is just not the 10 words that were on the stones. He has the Torah, the Mishpatim, the Kukim, the Moedim, all that was written. And I got news for you. That was one scroll that was sitting down there. And then when he brought him up a second time, which we're going to go over in a second, he wrote down more information on another scroll. But the idea here is he's trying to ask for the Most High to forgive these people or blot him out. So he's trying to take their place. Blot me out of your book. That word makah, blot, means erase me. Strike me from your scroll. If you won't forgive them, strike me out. And what did the Most High say? Yahweh said, he answered Moshe, those who have sinned against me are the ones I will blot out of my book. Those are the ones. So there is no advocacy when you and I sin against the Most High. Listen to me carefully so you don't get it twisted. Okay? The Most High said, those who have sinned against me are the ones I will blot out of my scroll, out of my book. Those are the ones that I'm going to strike out. Those are the ones that I'm going to erase out of my book. Okay? And if you read the text, which you did, it told you that the Most High sends the Levites out and they killed 3,000 people. And they earned a blessing for that, right? Their hands were filled with the blessing that day, and they took over the responsibility of the firstborn sons because they lost it when they did that, when they worshiped this God, because they broke a covenant with the Most High. But he also plagued the people after he killed the 3,000. So I need you to hear me carefully. He plagued the people. So he didn't forgive them. He plagued them. But neither did he blot out their names. He plagued them. But here it is. Listen to this. Akika, what are you talking about? About sinning against the Most High. In Shemuel chapter number 2, this really should shake you in your boots. If a person commits a sin against another person, and this is from Eliyahu, a judge, or excuse me, a priest, a high priest, matter of fact. His name is Eliyahu. Elihu. His name is Elihu, meaning who is El. If a person commits a sin against another person, the judges can mediate between them, between the space between them. We can bring them together. But if a person commits a sin against Yahweh, who can intercede for him? The answer is no one. That's the part that you and I need to understand. If you and I sin, so you say, well, what sin are you talking about, Akika? What are you talking about? I'm talking about any sin that Yah considers to be against him personally. Okay, so he's not talking about, okay, well, you know what? Akika stole something from Mashal, or Akika says something to Yared, or Akika, accidentally did something to Akoti Rivka. No, he's not talking about that. That's between those people. That can be mediated with a judge. Those problems can be resolved with a judge, a shoftim, okay, a shofet. But when it comes to the Most High, there is no intermediator. There is no one who can come and intercede for you so you can get out of the crime that you committed against the Most High. So what sin is the Most High saying that you sinned against me? Which one is he saying? Is he talking about, which one is he talking about? What sin is he talking about?
Is it breaking the Shabbat?
That's part of it. There you go. You're dying for that. He already told you that. Well, what is the great sin? What is the one that we're dealing with?
I believe it's the very first one. Lo yeh lecha Elohim.
Yes. So what we're talking about is idolatry. That's what he's talking about. Anoki Yahweh Eloheka Asher Hoti Tika Lemei Eretz Misraim. Lo yeh telaka de Elohim na akarim na al panai. Do you not bring another God before me? If you do that, you have committed that great, terrible sin that you will not be forgiven for. So when the Most High said, there's coming a time when I'm going to punish them. Listen to this. He says, listen, however, let me finish reading this. They wouldn't pay attention to what their father said because Yahweh had decided to kill them. Talking about Eli's sons. Because Most High had already decided. That word decide right there is being nice. It doesn't say decided to kill them. In Hebrew, go look at it. It's called kafetz, and that means delighted to kill them. He had a desire to kill them because what they were doing, they were having intercourse with women at the tabernacle. They were not setting apart the holy things, or none of those things. Okay, so that's another thing that you would have your name written blot out. It's against the kadoshness of the Most High. Okay, so idolatry is what it is. And what you need to understand for you and I who live in exile and how this is applicable to your life today, to let you know that for the sin of what they did, right, he ended up unaliving the first generation of those who came out, but he did not punish them for what they did because the punishment for idolatry is complete annihilation. So he tells Moshe, now go and lead the people to the place I told you about. My angel will go ahead of you. Nevertheless, the time for the punishment will come, and then I will punish them for their sin. Right? Blot me out. No, whoever sins against me, that's the one I'm blotting out. Okay. So now the Most High has not blotted out these names yet. Listen, there's a time for punishment. In Hebrew, punishment means visitation. When there's going to be an accounting, I'm going to come and I'm going to account. So he says, then I will punish them for their sins. It's not, I'm just going to punish them. I'm going to visit them. So who is he going to visit? Yahweh is going to visit the crimes of the parents until the third and fourth generations of those who hate him. Those who are still in idolatry are the ones that the Most High says, you're going to go ahead and I'm going to visit you because you hated me just like your ancestors did. So everything that I was going to do to them that I didn't and Moshe spared you from, that's what the Most High is going to do to the children of those people. The time for their punishment, the time of their visitation will come. So the Most High hasn't punished Israel for idolatry yet, because the punishment is complete annihilation. Remember, he said, if I go with you, and here he's telling him, hey, go ahead. He's mad. Chapter number 32, the Most High is mad. He says, go ahead and lead the people to the place I told you about. My angel's going to go ahead. Just go ahead and lead. And then he tells Moshe, hey, guess what? I'm not going with you. I don't have a slide for it, but you read your Torah portion. He said, I'm not going with you. No, because if I go with you, I'll end up killing everybody on the way there. I'm not going with you. I'm not. So what is the solution? If the Most High said, I'm not going with you, what's the solution? The solution, we're going to look and find out after we understand these idioms. You need to understand idioms, okay? What happens to us when we're dealing with any type of text of the scriptures, they're what they call idioms, Hebrew idioms that are found in the writings. And so when an individual reads something, they're mistranslating the words and they're making something to be true when it's not. They're saying that, hey, you know what? This is the way that I understand it, right? So obviously it means this, okay? So I want to explain to you what an idiom is. There's an idiom called lost in translation, okay? And what this is referring to, everyone, is that usually when someone is telling you like a message or they're giving you some type of phrase or an idea, what happens is when someone translates it into another language or out of another culture, what happens is it loses its meaning and it loses its impact on the person who's reading it or trying to understand it, all right? And generally what happens is that the language is what causes that to happen, right? So there's a lack of what you would call, equivalence, right? So there's a lack of equivalence in Hebrew words versus Greek words or English words. So when there's a lack of that, then you can't fully understand the phrase or whatever's been said because it's from another language. It's a different culture, so you don't understand it. It's like, what happens with a book, like, the Game of Thrones. Some people say that the books are better than the movie because a lot is lost in translation, right? So in our scriptures, what happens is that when the scriptures are translated into another language or another culture, it loses its meaning, it loses its impact and its significance, because then we're misunderstanding how it's the intent of why it was written or how it's supposed to be understood. One of the examples that we have in our Torah portion about an idiom is the fact that the Most High says Yahweh would speak to Moshe face to face. And so some people take this and say, oh, he face to face. So the Most High has a face. But they forget to read as a man speak to his friend, explaining the idiom. That's explaining what this is. This is just these words face to face. You would say, oh, it's a face and it's another face. He spoke to him face to face. So obviously they're face to face. They're right in front of each other. So that's how it is. No, that's an idiom. Okay. Basically, the face to face idiom is talking about an encounter that he had with the Most High. It's the way that he's having an encounter with him. Okay. It's a divine encounter. It's not literally face to face. It's not literal. It's idiomatic, right? The literal understanding, there's some text like we have here, but he says, but my face, the Most High speaking to Moshe, when he wanted to see him, he said, but my face, he continued, you cannot see. Because a human being cannot look at me and remain alive, right? So you're thinking, okay, the Most High has a face. No, don't bring anything before my face. So obviously he has a face. No, he's speaking in what you call anthropomorphic language. So you can understand. The one who's made the face, right? The one who made the eyes, he doesn't have to have an eye to understand the eye. He doesn't have to have a face to say that he understands the face. Go ahead, Michelle.
So this understanding applies to the scriptures in the book of Ezekiel, where it says that we will be brought out to the wilderness and judged face to face before the Most High.
Yes, that means that you're going to have an encounter with him, like it says in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter number 5, verse number 5. It says that the children of Israel saw Yahweh face to face. They just had an encounter with him. So it's not face to face. The Most High doesn't have a face. The Most High doesn't have eyeballs like you and I have. Okay. And if he did have eyeballs, were they eyeballs like an eagle? They can see hundreds of miles away, or they're like an owl. You can turn his whole head around. What is it? The one who made the eye doesn't need to have an eye. The one who made the ear doesn't have to have an ear to understand an ear. Do you understand that? He doesn't have to have hands to understand how they work because he made them. He's letting us know, I'm talking to you in a language that you can understand. He says, but he continued, you cannot see because a human being cannot look at me and remain alive. When my glory passes by, I will put you inside a crevice in a rock and cover you with my hand until I have passed by. So the idea is, I'm going to put you, meaning I'll pick you up and put you. So did the Most High take a hand and pick Moshe up like a little action figure and stick him inside of a rock and then cover the rock with his hand? See, that becomes like a cartoon or some type of sci-fi. No. When he says, who takes hold firmly of the Shabbat, is he talking about use your hand? No, he's talking metaphoric language. So here, the Most High is using anthropomorphic language. He uses metaphoric language. He's using figurative language. He's using literal language. He's using all the poetic language, all these different types of languages. So the Most High didn't grab him with his hand and put him inside of a rock. He didn't do that. He said, and I will put my hand, right, and cover you with my hand. So we would think, well, how big is his hand? Is his hand, could you measure the Most High? He said, what did the Most High tell us? He said, didn't you ever make an image of me? Ever. Deuteronomy chapter number 4. Because when I came to you, you saw no image of what? Of a male or a female. Never of a Zakar and Nekeva. You did not see any hand. You did not see any face. You did not see any legs. You did not see any ears. You didn't see a head. You didn't see any hair. All you heard was a voice. You didn't see no animal. You didn't see no stars and no moon. You didn't see no tree. You didn't see nothing. All you heard was a voice. And that bothers us because we want more than that. We got to see it. Most High said, you'll never see me, ever. So this idea that the Most High shows up in the body of a man in the New Testament, and all of a sudden, God is with us. His name is Emmanuel. We see him. No, they never saw the Most High. He said, I will remove my hand and you will see my back. What is he talking about, my back? Does he have a back? No. In context, his glory. You'll see the glory leaving you. But my face is not to be seen. You're never going to see. You're never going to directly look at me. You don't know what I look like. I don't want you to see that because you won't live. Well, Akika, Ezekiel said he saw a vision. He saw someone sitting upon the throne. But you got to remember, in the Hebrew, it tells you that it was like the Son of Man. Like. Not is. Like. Now, this is not bad news. This is good news. I've been reading the Torah for over 15 years. Just about. And I have to tell you something. I did not understand this until this Torah portion. This is the beauty of going through the Torah portion weekly. Do you not know that the Most High renewed the covenant? Because Moshe broke the covenant. He smashed it. The Most High told him to go make up 2 stones and come back up on the mountain. Now listen to this very carefully so you can understand. And I want you to go back and read it for yourself to find out, is Akika telling us the truth or is he making this up? Yahweh continued in chapter number 32. And he says to Moshe, I have been watching these people and you can see how stiff-necked they are. Now leave me alone so that my anger can blaze up against them and I will put an end to them. And what? And I will make a great nation out of you instead. That wasn't, the Most High doesn't speak just because he feels like talking. He meant this. Okay? I'm going to unalive all of them and I'm going to start over with you. And I thought, okay, that's the end of it. He just wants to start over with Moshe and then he spares the people. No. The Most High is letting us know what his intent was for Moshe. Hear this. The Most High tells Moshe in chapter number 34, he says, be ready by morning. And in the morning, you are to ascend on Mount Sinai, present yourself to me on the top of the mountain. No one is to come up with you, and no one is to be seen anywhere on the mountain. Don't even let the flocks or herds feed in front of this mountain. Why did he say that? Somebody tell me. And he has the 2 stones that he told him to make. The Lakot. Bring up those 2 stones that I need you to cut out. The ones that I made, you destroyed them. The ones that I want you to make a set, and I want you to bring them up here so I can rewrite what I wrote on the first ones. So what is it about this that the Most High is saying that jogs your memory? What does this sound like right here? Has the Most High ever told anybody to be ready by the morning or be ready on the 3rd day? Did the Most High ever tell anybody, make sure that nobody comes up? Make sure that no animals come up. Make sure that nobody touches this mountain. Do you remember that? Somebody tell me you remember when he told Moshe to tell the children of Israel, you got 3 days, go down, sanctify yourselves. Do you remember that? Yes?
Yes, a few portions earlier.
Yes. So now, read it again. Be ready by morning. In the morning, you are to ascend Mount Sinai and present yourself to me on the top of the mountain. Why is he asking him to come off on the mountain by himself? Why is he asking to present yourself to me on the top of the mountain? And no one is to come up with you. So I don't need Joshua. Before I told you to bring your brother Aaron, and before I told you to bring the 70 elders, and before I told you to bring Aaron and his 2 sons, before I told you that when the shofar sounds, everybody can come up. What's going on right here, everyone, is the Most High is giving the 10 words to Moshe as if he's giving it to the whole nation of Israel all over again. Do you see that? Do you see the comparison? I need you to be ready. Yes.
But on this go around, Moshe had to write them himself.
Well, he didn't write the 10 words, but what he did was write down the instructions again. So the Most High said, I'm going to write again. I'm going to write with the etzbah, with my finger again on those stones. I want you to bring them up to me and I'll write on them again. But they're your stones now that you're bringing. My point is, everyone, is the Most High has made a new covenant with Moshe and the children of Israel, but only using Moshe as their representative. That's the only way that you and I are in this covenant today. They broke the covenant with Yah. Nobody was worthy enough to receive the covenant again because they already went into idolatry. So when Moshe went down, he was angry and he broke the covenant. He smashed the 2 stones, which was the covenant, the 10 words of Yah. Him going back up there to get them rewritten again wasn't just to have them rewritten. The Most High is talking to Moshe in chapter number 34. Remember, Moshe says, show me your goodness. Show me your way so I can be able to live in the way that you want me to live. Most High said, yeah, I'm going to do that. So he reveals himself to Moshe. He didn't reveal it. When he revealed himself to the children of Israel in chapter number 20, everyone, there was fire, there was the smoke, and there was the loud voice and all this. He's revealing himself personally now to Moshe, something that he hasn't done with the children of Israel in this way, in this manner. Ask yourself the question, when the Most High showed up on Mount Sinai in chapter number 20, when he began to speak to the children of Israel, did he reveal to them this? Did he say Yahweh descended in the cloud and stood there, with him there and pronounced the name of Yahweh? He did pronounce, he said, I am Yahweh, your Elohim, Anoki Yahweh Eloheka. He did say that. But did he say to him, Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh is Elohim, is El? Did he say that he was merciful? No. Did he say he was compassionate? No. Did he say he was slow to anger? No. Did he say he was rich in grace and truth? No. Did he say he was showing grace to the 1,000th generation, forgiving sins, crimes, and sins? No. Did he say that yet I'm exonerating the guilty? No. He never said none of this. He never said this to them, but he's saying it to Moshe. And Moshe is supposed to take these words and deliver them to the children of Israel because this is the covenant you and I are under right now. That's supplemental to what he said on the first one. Oh, hear what he's saying today.
The first one he said, I'm the one who brought you up from the land of Israel. You shall never have any other Elohim before me. You shall never make an image of anything in the likeness in the heavens above and the earth below and the sea beneath the sea. For I'm a jealous hell. He ain't never said that here. He wrote it all down and he gave it to Moshe. Then he reveals himself to Moshe. This is the glory of Yahweh that is being revealed to Moshe. This is when he's saying this to him. Moshe is inside of the cleft of the rock. And the Most High has covered him so he won't die, so he won't look at Yah when Yah is starting to talk to him. This is the part of the covenant. This is the renewal of the covenant. To let you know who Yah is. YHWH. He's merciful. Oh, praise be to Yahweh. And if Yah was in mercy, and if it wasn't for this in particular renewal of this covenant, you and I would not receive any mercy. So when Moshe got up there and asked the Most High, show me your glory, he's asking the Most High to be merciful. And the Most High said, I'm merciful. Why am I merciful? Because Moshe asked me to be merciful. He reminded me of the Abraham and the Yitzchak and Ysrael, the covenant I swore to them. He reminded me of what I did when I brought the children of Israel. He reminded me that I'm an Elohim that can be counted on and relied upon. I'm the merciful one. I'm the compassionate one. I'm the one who's slow to anger. Why are you mad at your people, Yahweh? This is who you are. You're slow to anger. Why are you wanting to destroy all of them right now? It's because of Moshe. Moshe is the one who kept us from being destroyed, everybody. Moshe is the one that Yah revealed. Here, listen to what I'm telling you. This right here, when we read this, let me calm down. When the Most High said that in the text that he spoke to Moshe face to face. He's talking about his encounter that he had with him. So when the Most High is revealing this right here, this Yahweh descended in the cloud, and Yahweh passed before him, and Yahweh proclaimed his name, and Yah tells us his attributes of who he is. The Most High is allowing us to hear these intimate details in these attributes that he said to Moshe. Now, he did not say this to the children of Israel. He said this to Moshe. He said it to Moshe. Why? Because Yah was going to destroy Israel. He was going to destroy Israel, but your ancestor, Moshe, stood up for us, and he challenged Yah's promises, and he had enough courage to stand before the Most High. Do you understand? The Most High is a forgiving Elohim. He says, I'm forgiving. I forgive offenses. I forgive crimes. I forgive sins. Yet not exonerating the guilty. YHWH will never exonerate or make innocent the guilty. I don't care how many books that the New Testament comes in. I don't care how many languages it's spoken in. The Most High is never going to give innocence to someone that is guilty. He will never give the blood of the righteous for the wicked. He will never make the wicked righteous. Never. He's telling us, I'm causing the negative effects of the parents and offenses to be experienced by the children and grandchildren, even to the third, fourth generations. And when this happened, Moshe bowed down his head and he said, now that I found mercy and I found Cain in your eyes, Yah, I'm going to ask you now that you would go with us. Because this is who you are. You and I need to be thankful for Moshe. Because Moshe is our, what you would call, Mashiach. He is our Messiah. He is our Mashiach. He's the one who went on our behalf. He's the one who helped us stay connected to Yah. He's the one who convinced Yah on our behalf. At once, Moshe bowed his head to the ground when Yah had proclaimed his name, and he prostrated himself, and he said, if I have now found Cain, continuing of the seed, if I'm able to continue to tend in your view, master, please let our master, not but all, our master, our owner, our possessor, go with us, because Yah says, I'm not going. They have made me mad. I will kill every last one of them. because they're so stiff-necked, inflexible, won't turn. They're reverting back to their old ways. I'll end up killing everybody. So don't you see the reason why he asked the Most High to show you said you know me by name, Yah. You said that I found grace in your eyes. You said this to me. Moshe is revealing the intimate details of his relationship with Yah. That's not part of the Torah. In the Torah, you have intimate details of a relationship between Yah and his servant Moshe. So why is Yah revealing this to us? Why is he giving us the inside view? Because he's letting us know, if it wasn't for Moshe, you'd be dead. You wouldn't even exist. I would have erased you a long time ago. Like he's erased different nations and he's got rid of certain peoples. There's peoples that used to be on this planet that you would never, ever hear about because Yah blotted their name from underneath heaven and he struck their name out of his book because they sinned against him. He says, let our master go with us, even though they are a stiff-necked people, and pardon our offenses. He joined himself with his people, our sins, and take us as your possession. After Yah revealed his name to him. And he said, this is what Yahweh said, here, I'm making a covenant in front of all your people. Your people, Moshe, your people. Most High still didn't say those are my people. He said your people. I will do wonders such as have not been created anywhere on the earth in any nation. All the people around you will see the work of Yahweh. What I'm going to do through you, what I'm going to do through you, what I'm going to do through you, Moshe, will be awesome. He is your anointed one, people. He's the one who went up there. He's the one who spent 40 days and 40 nights, not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times. That's your Mashiach. And what he's talking about, what I'm going to do through you will be awesome, is the fact that you and I today can read what Moshe wrote on our behalf. That's awesome what Yah's doing through Moshe. It's because of Moshe's ability to listen. It's because of Moshe's ability to ask Yahweh to keep Tisa. He asked him, Tisa does not only count, but to forgive. It means to bear. Bear these people, Yahweh. Forgive your people. So our covenant that you and I are in, the supplemental renewal covenant, is based upon what Moshe has done, not with somebody that hung on a tree in the New Testament, that hasn't made a reconnection to the Most High, that has not told you about the Moedim, has not connected you to the Shabbat, has not changed your diet, has not changed your mind, who's caused you to revert back into your old nature. Well, I just can't help it. I claim to have the spirit of Elohim, but yet I can't control my sin. I can't help it. What I'm going to do through you is going to be awesome. What I'm going to do through you in the time to come is going to be awesome. You have individuals that is going to have an experience with Yahweh because of what Moshe said and because of what he did for the children of Israel. We need to remember everything that the Most High said. We need to remember that we don't need to fall into any default setting when things don't go our way or we feel impatient. So we automatically revert to going back to be the same way that we were before we start walking with the Most High Yah. All of us are subject to getting involved in idolatry when you and I are impatient and when you and I click on our automatic default settings. We need to remember what Moshe did for us. And because of that, I want you to memorize something. I want you to memorize Anoki Yahweh Eloheinu. I forgot to put my O in there. Oh my Yah. Eloheinu. It's Elohe, Elo. Forget the typo. Eloheinu. Eloheinu. Anoki Yahweh Eloheinu. Basically, what that means is that I am Yahweh your Elohim. Say that. That is the first word of the covenant that the Most High says, Anoki Yahweh Eloheinu. Asheri Hotzitika, Me'eretz Mitzrayim. I'm the one who caused you to come out from the land of Mitzrayim. Yes, Moshe. Moshe.
What is the difference between Eloheinu and Eloheka?
Eloheka is your Elohim. Okay. Okay. But here, Eloheinu, that is a plurality. Okay. So Eloheka, so if it was Eloheka, that ka right there is your, is singular. Okay. But here, your Eloheinu, okay, that's plural. Okay, so the nu is plural, the ka is singular. So you can have Eloheinu, our, or your, excuse me, your, I'm your Elohim. Okay. Eloheka is yours, individual. Okay. Okay. Yahweh Eloheinu, I had this one right. Yahweh Eloheinu. Yahweh is our power. Yahweh is one. Yahweh Echad. Okay. This comes from Davarim, chapter number 6. Tells you this called the Shema Yisrael. Yahweh Eloheinu. Yahweh is our power. Okay. Yahweh Echad. Yahweh Echad. Okay. And when are you supposed to do this? Why do you need to memorize this? You need to memorize this because the Most High has asked us to, you shall speak of them when you lie down and when you rise up. So this means that twice, there's two things that you do every day, if Yah's willing. If Yah's willing, you're going to lie down and you're also going to rise. Okay. So, right. So there's two times you shall speak of when you lie down and when you rise. Okay. So that's twice. 2 times. These are the times you do it. When you lie down and when you rise, when you arise. So what I want you to do is I want you to remember that Yahweh is our Elohim. He's yours too. So that he's one, right? He's not 2, he's not 3, none of those things. That's who he is. You and I are in a relationship with Yah because of Moshe. That's why. We have a relationship with him because of Moshe. That's it. And because he says that I'm going to talk to you so they would always listen to you. So the Most High knows that the children of Israel are a stiff-necked people, that their necks cannot be turned, right? Right? They cannot be turned. They're hard-hearted. They're stiff-necked, okay? They're not easy to be tamed. They want to do what they want to do. They're bent on going the direction they want to go. But he doesn't want that from us. He wants us to soften that neck up, okay? Let the Most High guide you. When he talks about staying on his path, when we're walking on Yah's path, it doesn't mean that you're not going to look to the left or to the right. He just doesn't want you to go to the left or to the right. He does want you to be aware of what's going on around you.
But you have to, and it's okay, but you have to be able to be disciplined enough to go wherever he wants you to go and to be led. Okay. And so the part of leading is through the Torah that you have right here. Okay. So there's a word that I have called limod, and limod also means to learn. That's the first letter there, the lamed. And that's always to learn. Okay. And also means to lead. Okay. And also with that leading, it talks to discipline. So learning and leading, discipline, all that with this staff, because that's what that is. Okay. So the Yahweh is going to lead us through his Torah portions. He leads us through these different places. So when he's leading us with his staff, we're going here. And then after we go there, we go there. Then after we go there, he leads us there. So these are your destinations. This is where you're supposed to go this week. It's like traveling on a road and a path. And then once you get to the path, you got some little places that you stop. You know, you got some little grass over here. You stop off for here, you eat here. And then when you come over here, by the time you get here, you get some more grass. And over here, you might get a little bit of a different type of grass here. And then, you know, you just stop different destinations, you know, stop at different places. And that's all it is. And that's the path. So the path is not just, it's not straight. The path turns and it goes around mountains and it goes to different locations. But the idea about us being straight is wherever you're walking, you can't have damaged ankles where you can't turn, you know, where your will alignment's off. So if I say go right, you can't go right because you're bent on going left. So you got to get in alignment, right? So you got to be healed. So the Most High has us, and it's a lot of us that are walking on this path with him together. So when all of us are coming together, the Most High really enjoys us being together. And when we're on this path, we shouldn't be by ourselves. It's not designed. We're part of a flock. We're not designed to do this walk or to live this life alone. Even though it might feel lonely at different times, but you have brothers and sisters. You know, you got the Achim, you got the Kayot, sisters and brothers, the Achim, and we're all supposed to be together. And there's only one Father, right? There's Ab, there's Yahweh. And then he uses our Torah and he uses our other sisters to help and guide us, and we make it to the destination. So today you learned that the Shabbat is very, very important. The Shabbat is your connection to the Most High. And it's about us being set free and putting some space between us and others, but also it is our space that we come closer to the Most High. It's designated for us to be able to participate on a divine level. So today is a very divine day. Today is a very special day. Okay. For everything, every part of your food. It's a day. This day itself is set apart. Okay. You have any questions, contributions, questions or comments? Anyone?
Yes, thank you for today's lesson.
Thank you for today's lesson. And I also just want to say one thing at the end of everything. I just want to say this. It brought back a memory of something that we were doing. It's called the Shema. And we would say that. We would say, Shema Israel, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Akkad.
Yeah, that's it. That's the Shema, right? So the Shema is, we're supposed to do that on a regular. That's and we haven't been taught that properly. So, I mean, you heard some people say you're supposed to be 3 times a day. It's literally 2 times a day, because he tells us right there that it's when you're laying down and when you rise up. Those are the 2 times. And so it's something that has to be in a part of our lives. It's not religious. It's just an order, because he knows how children of Israel are. We're quick to forget. And so he doesn't want us to forget. He actually wants us to understand his order. It's a divine order. So we're going to have to make some adjustments. We're going to have to make some moves. We have to do some things that, you know, we necessarily are, you know, we don't know too much about. We're going to have to learn about it, right? I got individuals telling me, well, you know, you said this and you're saying we got to learn the Hebrew. Otherwise, we're not going to understand it. I'm just like, well, that's a choice. You know what I'm saying? That's a choice. You can choose to learn. I mean, it's not like you can't learn in English, but you got to be careful, because you're going to get lost in translation. And there's going to be things that you're not going to understand, and there's things that you're not going you're going to think it said something it never said, and then you're going to be lost, and then you're going to be thinking it's something else. Yes, Michelle.
Oh no, I was gonna say you wanted to share a little bit of your wild ideas when you were depressed.
Oh, yeah. I was telling. Oh no, well, I'm a little pressed for time today. I shared that with you, but I'll share that next time.
All
Just,
right, no problem.
I won't keep everybody too much longer. I do want you to participate today in your game because Rivka put together this, and I want to honor her by having us participate in this. You know what the game pin is 295-8370. Like for all of us to, if you can, go ahead and participate and answer a couple of questions. There's only a couple of them. I'm waiting for some players. Who's going to participate? There we go. We got one sister Sharon. Shalom, Makoti.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Sure can.
That's great. What's the pin again?
295-8370.
Oh,
right,
okay.
Right. Yeah, right up there. Hey, Moria. Hallelujah. Moria. There you go. Koti Eve is in the house. She's ready to play. Yeah. And we got Azanya. That's my Koti. She's back. Azanya. Okay, Eve. I like it. Put on the glasses. You for real. You're not playing today. All right. I got you. I see that.
Am I?
Huh?
I'm sorry. Am I able to play on another day?
Yeah, absolutely.
With the same code? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can actually go to the Kahoot.com and put in absolute knowledge, and it'll take you to all the parashas that we've or the Torah portions that we've done, and they're all right there.
Oh, okay, great. That is a good thing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. In Bedma.
Bedma. Azanya, sunshine. Azanya's trying to be or. She's going to be light. She's a bat of Uri. She's a daughter of light, of my light. Hallelujah. Who else do we have playing today? Any more contestants before we get started? All right. Well, here we go. Ding, 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 ding. Hold on. Wait a minute. This is interesting. That thing crashed on me. Hold on. It crashed. Hold on. What is going on? All right, go ahead, you guys. You got 10 seconds. I'm sorry. Go ahead and answer it. Do your best that you can. There you go. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, that was messed up. Okay. She put it in Hebrew. All right. Sharon guessed that. Okay, there you go. 2 of 12. The sons of Israel are to contribute a shekel of silver to the sanctuary. True or false? They're supposed to contribute a shekel? Sure. True or false? All right. Got somebody moving up. Moriah just took first place. Let's go. 3 of 12. Betzael and Olihav are placed in charge of what? What are they in charge of? This is interesting. Let's go. Sharon is back in charge. She's back at number one. Eve is probably, type your answer. How many times a year must all the sons of Israel appear before the Most High? Type your answer. How many times must all the sons of Israel appear before the Most High? How many times a year must the sons of Israel appear before the Most High Yah? How many times? I try to play with my phone. Okay, it's being my phone. Okay. No worries. Yeah. Okay, cool. Type your answer. Ding, 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 ding. 3 times. There you go. Who took the lead? Oh, there you go. Sharon's still in the lead. Dawid is taking his place in 3rd place. Azania tried to get you guys, but her phone didn't work. Anointing oil was applied to meal offerings. The anointing oil was applied to all meal offerings. True or false? The anointing oil was applied to all meal offerings. It's false. There you go. Sharon's on fire. Eve just took a position in 3rd place. There we go. Quiz question. What did Moshe ask Yahweh to do if he did not forgive the people? What did Yahweh ask him to do? What did Moshe ask Yahweh to do if he wouldn't forgive the people? Yeah. I just told you what he did. There you go. Come on now. Uh-oh, Dawid just took another position. Let's go. 7-12. Moshe cast the golden calf into the Red Sea. True or false? Ding, 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 ding. The faster you answer, the better off it is. Even Dawid are fighting, you guys. 8-12. What part of Yahweh did he allow Moshe to see? Now that you know that he doesn't have a face, hands, or backside, or his arm, what is it? We know what it is. You know what he's saying now. Okay. True or false? Yahweh made a second set of tablets for the Israel. Yahweh made a second set of tablets for Israel. Moshe did. He made a second set. Yahweh wrote on that second set, but he didn't make that second set. Eve just went to 2nd place. She ain't playing. 10-12. What happens to Moshe's face after speaking to Yahweh? We walked on water, healed the sick. What happened? What did he do? Interesting. I didn't cover that today, but there's something behind that. We just didn't have time to cover it today. But
my question would be, how long did that last?
Until the end. Till the end. 11-12. In which book of the Tanakh can we find this week's Haftarah? The Haftarah. Was it in Kings? Was it in Isaiah? Jeremiah? Where was it? Where did we find Yahweh speaking to Eliyahu? Yahweh is my Elohim. Yahweh, my El is Yah. Sister Eve taking that 2nd place position, 12-12, true or false. Israel was allowed to work in the tabernacle on the Shabbat. Who's coming up? Third position. Moriah, great job. 7,000. High scores. 771. Eve, second place. Congratulations, 7432. El Koti Sharon. And then we have honorable mentions, Dawid and Zanya. Hallelujah. Praise be to Yahweh. Hallelujah, everyone. Hallelujah. I have to get this Zoom fixed. I don't know what happened. But I'm happy that Yah gave me enough sense to do what I did. Hallelujah. All right, everyone. Yes, Sister Eve.
Thank you very much, Achika, for the message today. All praises to Yahweh. It's really strong today. I'm just blown away by the wisdom the Creator has bestowed in you. So I'm grateful. I thought the message really was for me today because I've been really re-examining my life and really understanding, rather going back to elementary level to really grasp his advanced teaching of the Torah for myself anyway. So I just wanted to thank you for that and give all praises to Yahweh. I just wanted to ask if it's possible to gain the learn to read Hebrew, but biblical Hebrew version, the third version, because I've finished the volume 2. Sorry, volume 3 is what I'm asking for, please, if that's okay.
Oh, volume 3?
Volume 3, yes.
Well, congratulations. You've already been to volume 1 and 2? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's I think I'm building my confidence reading it. However, it's just because I know in volume 1 you did mention that each letter has a meaning, and I think my brain is kind of curious as to what each individual letter mean, and also when the words come into the plural form and the singular and masculine, all those kind of terminologies really. But I'm reading through it, and I think I'm becoming somewhat fluent in it. And then my second question was, I know I missed most of the lesson from last week, so I had to go through it again on my own. And I think the comment regarding, excuse my pronunciation of this word, Melchizedek. I'm just curious as to who is he? Because it's confusing me in terms of what his role really is and who exactly is he, because I can't really find it in the Old Testament. So, but I heard that I don't know, is that meant to kind of distract us, or has it got a function? What is it, or who is it, and what part is he really playing in our lives?
And you're saying Melchizedek?
Is that how you say it? Yes, I thought it was Melchizedek.
Yeah, Melchizedek. He the only role that he plays in the scrolls is to tell us that at the time of Abraham's victory over the army that he defeated, how that there was a priest that was serving on behalf of Elohim. He's the priest of the Most High. He's not a priest over Ysrael, right? And it is a diversion because but he was just a regular human being. And they said, well, there's no mention of a father and mother. Well, that doesn't come up until you get to the New Testament. But he actually, there's other kings who share in the name of Melchi or Adonai Tzedek. That means our Lord or our Master. So he's just a figure who tells you that at that time in Jerusalem, that there was a king that was considered to be righteous who was operating in both positions as a king and a priest. And that's pretty much it. For us as a people, he doesn't bear any significance on us because Moshe doesn't tell us anything about him.
Who did he descend from? Was it from Abraham or before Abraham?
Who Melchizedek?
Yes.
We don't. I think in my estimation, Melchizedek is from the land of Canaan. Okay?
Oh, yes.
He's from Yevusi. He was from the tribe
or the land of Yavusi, which is a Canaanite land. So he was from a descendant from Kam. He's a descendant from Ham.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
No, thank you for that, because I think I've seen him mentioned in I think in the book of Psalms. I can't remember where
Yeah, it's
exactly.
the Psalms. Yes, it's Psalms 110.
Yeah, I wasn't
It just
sure.
it is just telling Dawid that he is going to rule as one who can officiate in a position of a king, and one who's actually going to officiate as someone who's like a priest king. He's going to be on that level. It'd be like the order of operating in that position of both king and priest.
Right, okay. Thanks for that. So it doesn't really bear any significance towards as such.
No. Nope. But I do want to congratulate you on finishing volume number 2. And I got another book for you.
Yes, please send that over.
Yeah, it's gonna be a surprise. I think you're gonna love it.
Okay. I'm guessing it's going to have obviously more information, very straightforward, self-explanatory.
Oh yeah. It is a lot of information, but you're gonna love it. But don't be intimidated. It's your journey.
Yes, it is indeed. Yes.
Yes.
It really is. And thank you so much for
yeah.
helping
So
me.
since you told me that it was you finished volume 2, it tells me that you're ready for this next thing I'm going to send to you. It's a gift. Yeah, it's a gift. It's a real gift.
That's awesome. And finally, it seems like there's other Hebrew classes that go on, and I am mindful of the the time difference. But I wondered what days and time do those classes run, because I think that will also help me, just kind of hearing other people speak the language. I just want to kind of tap from that as well. Because it's just me and the boys, and I think we're just kind of obviously going through it and referring back to the previous, not the other lessons where you went through the covenants. And so, although you were speaking very fluently and somewhat a bit fast, I did try to slow it down so that I can understand. But it would help me to hear if there's more lessons, group lessons that are happening on other days. If they're recorded as well, that would be awesome if I can make it for the time that they're scheduled for.
Yeah, what you're going to do is you're going to inspire me to do. I haven't been doing any Hebrew lessons for quite some time, but let me think about putting something together for you guys. I'm gonna look at my schedule and see what I have, see what I could do for you. We could do a class, and I could teach you not only the biblical Hebrew, but I wanted to teach you the biblical Hebrew so you can learn how to read the scrolls, of course, right? But I want to teach you modern Hebrew too, so you can actually talk, right? So biblical Hebrew is for you to read and understand the Torah and the Tanakh, right? Read the prophets. The modern Hebrew is so you and I can understand each other.
Right.
So,
is it different? Is it very different?
No, not different at all. In the sense that when you talk about modern Hebrew, it is in the now. So the tenses that you're talking in, you're more or less talking about stuff happening now. So all the words that are in modern Hebrew come from the ancient Hebrew. So that's the reason why I wanted to put you on the ancient first, because you will learn when you get to the modern Hebrew, you already know it. Like I'm kind of going through the modern Hebrew right now. Because I was reluctant. I was like, oh no, that's Ashkenazi, that's Jewish, that's all that, right? But that's not true. It is the Hebrew language. It is the language that's out of the Tanakh. They use the Tanakh to come up with the language. So I'm interested in teaching that, but I want you to understand the biblical Hebrew first, because that's where you're going to get all your verbs, understand your tenses, So you got to go to that next level. And after you go to that level and you learn what those tenses are and you know what the grammar is, I want to teach you the grammar. Then when you go to the modern Hebrew, you'll understand it. It will not be hard at all.
Can you add a little explanation on the pronunciation of Yahweh in one of those teachings, like how you come up with that?
Well, yeah, well, there's other there's a lot of different pronunciations, right? So you got Yahweh, you got Yahuwah, you got Yahweh, you got the one that I have, right? Oh, my battery's about to die. Okay. So yeah, I'll look at that, Sister Sharon, but I came to that through just the vowel points that I saw underneath it when you just look at the letters, right? The ancients always used to be ah, right? Ah and u. So that's why in his letters, if you were just to say any root coming out of its original pronunciation, everything was ah. Everything starts off with an ah. Everything's ah.
Okay.
Everything. So Yahweh. There's some people say Yehovah or Yahuwah. I don't get mad at them and say, well, no, you're not supposed to say it like that, because they say, well, we lost. No one knows the direct translation, the real one that's supposed to be, but off of the consonants that it has and the sounds, that ah sound is what I just ascribe to it, because that's the original sound. That's the natural sound. Because his root of his name is Haya. That's the root. I mean, not Haya, 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 Haya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So two syllables. So you're, I guess I figure you have some kind of science behind the two syllable, like, you know what I mean?
Well, that's the first sound of everything. When you look at when a baby's born, what's the first sound that they make?
Oh, wow.
Wah. No, it's not wah. When you say mama, we say
mama, papa.
Mama, dada. It's ah.
Yeah.
Okay, and listen, before we go, because her battery's about to die, the ah sound is a very simple sound. Every other sound out of the vowels, like the E, the I, the O, the U, and all those have different moods on them. Ah is a very soft and gentle. It's very soft. It's not forceful. It's the most I got to look it up from a scientific perspective. When they talk about there's different what they call spirals. There's dentals, the sounds that come off the back of your teeth. There's gutturals that come out of the back of your throat. There's libels, which comes off your lips. And then, of course, one that comes off your palate. But the ah is the one. That is the most simplest sound. So every time you hear the ah, even in any other language, like Shema or Shamar, right? Or Abba or Ima or Torah, ah. It's always ah, right? It's that sound. And that goes along with our souls. Our souls are ah. They're feminine, right? So the ah is the working. It's the doing, the adama, right? So that's what it is. In the first word, the Musa said in the beginning, bara, bara, right? So that's creation. We have bara. So that's the most simplest form. It's called a call stem, meaning it's the most simplest action. It's not done with any force. It's not something that was caused. It's not something that you do to yourself. It's just, it is what it is. Zakar, nakeva, right? So zakar is male, right? Zakar, za. So it's all ah. It's all ah. So when I say his name, I look at his letters, Yahweh. Yahweh. Huh?
Oh, am I heard?
Yes.
You know, even as you're saying that, even like when you sigh, you know, that,
It's the breath. It's the ah.
yeah,
It's the ah.
It's
So even the breath of us is an ah. It's a sign. It's a ah. It's ah. Yeah. 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 Mhm.
Okay, I just wanted to say to Sister Rivka, thank you for the Kahoots. The first question threw me off balance, but somehow I got back. So well done for all the effort and time you put in making it really exciting. Really appreciate it.
She's not here. I don't know if she's still on, but I'm using her device. So I would say thank you on her behalf.
Obviously, I do extend my thanks to her.
Indeed, I will. Well, everyone, thank you so much for coming to Shabbat today. You guys have the rest of your Shabbat to refresh yourselves, reflect upon the Most High, and make your connection, reconnect with Him.
All right. Shavua Tov, Akikat.
Shavua Tov. Hey.
Oh.
Hey, everyone. Shavua.
Shavua.
Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.
Hey, listen to that. Shalom.
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 Yeah.
Shavua.
Yeah,
Shalom.
that's right. Okay.